welcome back. This is Donna with ABC Cake Decorating Supplies. We're continuing our journey with chocolates and candies. If you're just joining us, welcome. For those that are following me, thank you. And please subscribe to my channel. Love to hear from you. This part of our journey, we are going to do caramel covered chocolate pretzels with these cute little wedding couple, because we are on a wedding theme. And these are just little sugars. If you remember the sugar cubes, that's basically what these are, and they're airbrushed. Then we're gonna do this. Watch this, okay? Boop, boop. And then it becomes a little gift. And these embellishments are all done with edible markers, so no special tools required other than markers. Show you how easy and how fun this is. All right. First one is going to be our chocolate pretzels with caramel. First thing you need is a pretzel rod. Second thing you want is your little wedding couple. Then you're going to need caramel. And what I've done is I threw this in the microwave for a couple minutes, stirring it up. And then I put it on this warm pad. Now, if it's too thick, you could break your pretzel. So you do want to kind of stir it and make sure the bottom, because the bottom gets hot, so that it actually incorporates, so that when you dip your pretzel in here, it won't break. And then we're going to need our chocolate. And I'm dipping these in white chocolate, and then I'm just going to use a little bit of my black to go ahead and do the little drizzle on top. But because they're a wedding and I want them to be nice and shiny, I'm also going to be adding a pearlescent spray. So let's get started. Got my pretzel, got my caramel. The hardest thing about this is trying not to eat this before it gets on here. I'm going to take it, I'm just going to twist it. And depending upon how much caramel you want, you might want to dip it once or twice. And if your caramel's really runny, then definitely you might want to dip it once or twice. Okay, got my caramel. I'm going to let it set and kind of set up a second. Doesn't take very long at all. Stir my chocolate, make sure it's nice and melted. Remember, do not overheat your chocolate and do not put it around water. Okay, our caramel. There we go. Now that's our caramel pretzel. And if you want, you can tell it's pretty dry. If you don't like the design on it, some people like the little twisty design. In fact, they'll take caramel, they'll wrap it, and then they'll dip it, and then you get a nice design. But if you want it nice and smooth like those, you can take it and just kind of run it between your hands. Then we're going to take our caramel. We're just going to dip it, and we're going to roll it to cover up our chocolate. And then what I usually do here is you kind of just let it drip off. And then when you get to the end, you just tap it into the top, and then you just roll it like this. And then you're going to put it on your tray. You put it in the refrigerator. So while that's chilling in there, we're going to go ahead and do our 3-tiered little wedding cake, our chocolate mold. Now, if you're doing more than one, then you'll probably want to buy more than one of these, because it does take a little time in letting them cool. This is so easy. We're going to take, and don't be afraid if you get messy, because I'll show you something, what happens here if you do overfill it, okay? One of the things is here is you do want to fill it all the way up to the very top, because it does have little decorations on there. So you want to make sure you get those. So you do want to fill it pretty much to the top. And then we're going to pound it or hammer it, tap it. Now, if you do make a little bit of a mess, you can take your finger and just wrap around it. You want to get a nice clean seam so that when they come out really nice. And remember, when the chocolate's ready, it'll just fall out. Don't force your chocolate out. Once you've got this chocolate basic down, the limit, it's just ridiculous, all the fun things that you can do. And there's so many chocolate molds out there. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. And chocolate, remember, does not need to be super hot. Now, when you're dealing with candies, and this is a little bit, I'll just talk a little bit about hard candies. Hard candies are in a white mold that look just like the chocolate molds, but they're white. Chocolate molds are clear. The hard candies will not take the clear molds, but the chocolate will take the candy molds. So if you have white molds or you find a white mold you like, and then you get into hard candies, remember, you can use those for your chocolate. You just cannot use the hard candies for these because they're not meant to take all that heat. So here, we check, make sure we got all the little air bubbles out. Then this guy's going to go in here. And if you're not sure your pretzel's ready or not, before you go ahead and pull it off of your paper, just kind of touch it. And if it seems like it's hard, then you can probably pull it off. If it's not completely done, you may end up pulling this off and then ripping off the back of it and not having a lot of caramel or chocolate. So if you're not sure, just kind of touch it to test it. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take I'm going to take a pearl spray, and I want to show you the difference from going from this to this. And it's so easy. Shake it up nice and good. And that side there is more the side you're going to want. We're going to take our chocolate. And this is where, if you have a chocolate drizzle, you can drizzle it that way. If not, a fork works really well for that. And I'll show you. You pick it up, and you don't want it super wet. And then you can go back and forth. Then we're going to go ahead and glue on our little people. All you need is to take, and you want to glue it with the same color chocolate as what you have on there. Just going to put a little bit of chocolate on the backing here. Now, if you're not doing a drizzle or anything, then you could have went ahead and put these on before your chocolate was completely dry. But since I went ahead and I added the drizzle, and then you end up having, and then like here, we went ahead and we put down the silver ribbon. If you wanted to decorate it with the silver ribbon, you could. And then you've got your chocolate caramel covered pretzel. Now remember, with our chocolate molds, if they don't fall out, they're not ready. Look at that, they're ready. If you look really close to these chocolate, you can kind of see there's a little flower and there's this little edge around the cake. It's kind of like a border with roses. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to do the very top one. But where the rose is, and this is how simple, you don't even need to follow the lines as much. You just need to go ahead and just add a little bit of color to it. And then we're going to go over here and add color to it. And we're going to add this little rose right here. And it doesn't need to be red if the party is a different color. I just thought the red stood out very well with the gold and the or silver and the black. Okay, we've got our red flowers on here. Just added a little bit to just the plain white. Then we're coming in here. What's nice about these food pens is this side is a broad tip and this side is a thin tip. Then we'll come back in here and then we'll just go ahead and add a little bit of green for the leaves. So here, we're going to go ahead and put it together, and as you can see, this type of design has a draped lace on it. So if you want to alternate that to give it kind of a more of a asymmetrical look than a symmetrical look, or you can put them all together. This is the fun part. This is your creation. So now we're just going to take this. And because this is an edible paint, you could actually paint it on you. You could do a stripe in your hair. Come Halloween, there's green, there's all kinds of colors. Now I'm just going to show you the difference between having the bottom that's not done and then having a top that actually has pearlescence paint on it, and then with a little bit of embellishments, you have your three-tiered cake. If you wanted to glue these together or glue the two tops together so that in here, if you wanted to put a little novelty or any type of a mint or something for your guests, then you could glue these two together so that there's just a top, or you could leave it all, you know, individual. It's one of those, it's your masterpiece. I hope you enjoyed this segment on making a chocolate covered caramel pretzel and for making a 3D cake. If you have any questions or comments, please contact me, Donna@rvideo.com. And don't forget, subscribe to my channel. Hope to see you soon.